Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're talking about the one and only Turbo Toad token. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently ranked 163 in the world, 302 million market cap, 28 million volume. And we can see, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently at 57,068 holders. So, not bad, not bad. Growth has been there. It hasn't been the fastest, but at least it is organic and people see the vision. Listen, there was a comment that I saw right over here. People were saying Turbo drops 2 spots in the ranking and the fudders be spamming Turbo's feed. Ha ha ha. Listen, I'm not kidding. People that constantly hate on Turbo or see a crypto go down a couple percent, I will personally pay for your therapy after this bull run. All right. Because I know your brain is going to snap in half after all these cryptos pump, after Turbo pumps. We get our bag, whether it's a 10x, whether it's a 20x, whether it's a 50x. We'll have to see, right? We'll have to see at the end of the day, right? Only time will tell. But I know at the end of the day, no matter how high Turbo will pump, your brain is going to break because there's something inside of you that's just fundamentally wrong, right? There's just something inside of you that is just a little demonic, right? Not to get too political here, but man, oh man, like I said, for all you people that always hate on Turbo and doubt, I will personally pay for your damn therapy after this beautiful, beautiful big cash out that's awaiting me and so many other people. Because listen, you're gonna need it, all right? You're gonna need it. Look, I know it might be a little hard. It might be a little, it might be a little hard for you to hold back. You know what I'm saying? And I know once Turbo starts dumping again because it's gonna be bear season, you're gonna say, I told you so. I told you so. But listen, hopefully by then we can get a few therapy sessions for people like yourselves. Anyways, anyways, I just had to do that public service announcement. People, you get it. There's some people in life, they just need to be, you know what I'm saying? No, it's all good. It's all good. Let's pretend I didn't say the last 2 minutes. Anyways, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we can see we're currently at 0.00438 price. We are kind of creating a reverse head and shoulders at this current moment. There is zero confirmation that we're necessarily going to hold this price just as of yet. I will say though, we are on a very, very key support line when it comes to the trend. Right, when it comes to the trend, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually at a very, very key support. So, looking to be holding this, right? Because we do not want this trend line to necessarily break. It has been holding for a long time and it's been very, very solid, very, very solid. And, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, even though the price has been going down, technically we are still on track to create a higher low. In case you are confused, ladies and gentlemen, right? The things I'm talking about are these lows, right? We have 0.0015 low, we have a low at 0.0031, then we have another low at 0.0043, and we're at 0.00432 right now. So that would technically be a higher low, and we would technically be also supporting this trend line, respecting it. So it would be a high probability in terms of a push. Now we do kind of have a doji candle here where this is a nice reversal candle. I will say though, this is a huge, gigantic sell candle, right? This is one of the biggest sell candles we've actually had in a very, very long time. I think the last time we had something similar was at the end of May. So it's been a couple months, right? It's been a couple of months, but we will make sure to monitor everything, ladies and gentlemen. Right, like I said, as of right now, not too much has happened. It is the weekend after all. We're going from the Friday to the Saturday transition. So I do expect volume to slow down. But, like I said before, usually with lower volume does equal some kind of accumulation, some kind of pump potential right after that. So we will continue to monitor everything. Like I said, it is currently a reverse head and shoulder. We have a shoulder, we have a head, and then we have another shoulder as of right now. I will be looking to see for us to break above. I would really like to see a solid, strong pump above these highs over here, right? We do have equal highs. We can see multiple equal highs at 0.0044. So I would really, really, really like to see a pump above that and closes, right? Not just to go above and to go back down right away, especially if it could happen on the 4 hour, because it's clear as day on the 4 hour right now. We are clearly still kind of in a bear trend. We have a low, we have a high, we have a low, we have a high. So clearly a staircase downwards. The start of it could possibly be us coming back down here to roughly 0.0042 and then seeing a bounce from there, right? Going like this and then something like this, right? But of course, this is just speculation. This is not confirmation. If you want confirmation, you need to be patient, right? We need to be patient right now because we are in a deciding zone. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still super high on Turbo. Ultimately, the big picture, which is the only thing I really care about, right? Because if you're not familiar with me, I've been just holding most cryptos pretty much from A to Z is my plan, where I only care about the very, very big move, getting in really early, getting in at cheap prices, dollar cost averaging on big dips, and then ultimately just selling near the end, right? When actual altcoin season happens. So for me, this is more of a fun hobby I do for you guys. And of course, in the private community where I mark up these charts, give extra analysis, do this, do that, right? What we can see, ladies and gentlemen, we are between two massive zones. And ultimately, I do believe, we will be looking to be bursting past this key zone of 0.0064 and then breaking upwards of possibly 1 cent, right? Because that's when the next real type of resistance will occur, right? So this is ultimately the plan. And, everything does suggest it will happen. I know the last few months have been a little bit of a bait, but technically, we have been closing above this first zone over here of 0.0032. That's a really good sign. And remember, when something gets multiple rejections, kind of like the way we did, you could even argue in April, May, and July, it becomes weaker and weaker. So I do expect a pump sooner than later. Some people are saying there aren't any rate cuts happening in September. From what I've still seen, ladies and gentlemen, that we are still going to get rate cuts. In fact, it's like a 99% chance of it dropping 0.50, right? 50 points. So I don't know. Unless my source is wrong, which is like it's like the official thing. So unless something changes, I'll keep you guys updated. But rate cuts are still to be expected. And ladies and gentlemen, things are looking very, very solid. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys so, so much. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.